My partner wants me to rehouse my senior dog Lily. What should I do? I'm grappling with a complex situation in my open relationship and could really use some guidance on how to proceed. My boyfriend and I have been together for 5 years, and for the most part our relationship has been fulfilling. However, a recent issue has arisen concerning Lily, my beloved dog. Lily isn't just any pet, she's been my faithful companion for 5 years, offering unconditional love and companionship. As Lily has aged, her needs have naturally evolved, requiring more care and attention. Despite her advancing years, my boyfriend has expressed discomfort around Lily. His hesitation seems to stem from various factors, such as not being accustomed to living with pets, his obsessive-compulsive disorder, concerns about cleanliness, and worries about potential damage to furniture and belongings. Lily can sometimes scratch on the sofa and the chairs. In an effort to address this issue, we've spent more time at my boyfriend's apartment where Lily's presence is limited. However, as our relationship has progressed, discussions about our future together have emerged. We've begun exploring the possibility of moving in together or finding a new living arrangement. However, my boyfriend recently shared his concerns about Lily's place in our shared future. He expressed doubt about his ability to adjust to living with a dog and raised practical concerns about accommodating Lily's needs in our living space. Despite my efforts to reassure him and emphasize the importance of Lily's well-being to me, my boyfriend remains hesitant. He feels torn between his love for me and his discomfort with the idea of living with a dog. Now I find myself caught between my deep affection for Lily, who has been a constant source of comfort and joy, and my desire to nurture and preserve my relationship with my boyfriend. I'm uncertain how to navigate this complex situation and would appreciate any advice or suggestions on how to find a resolution that respects both my commitments to Lily and my relationship. TL Doctor, is it acceptable what my boyfriend is asking, or should I break up with him? There's plenty of D out there, girl, but only one Lily. That dog is a responsibility that you committed to, and rehoming her now would be cruel. The fact that your boyfriend is asking you to rehome her shows he doesn't care about the commitments you've made. If he doesn't like it, the door's over there. I am divorcing my spouse, not crazy about it. How can I survive this knowing I'll be the bad guy in this story? Well, so I am guessing a divorce. We have been together for 15 years and married for 9 years and 51 weeks when I finally had enough. Long story short, it devolved into her alcoholism and narcissism over the course of like 8 years. I am an alcoholic too, but I am now sober and clear-headed. I knew it was over when she left marriage counseling in a huff after replying to the therapist's question, "What are you willing to do for your marriage?" with nothing. She is still drinking, still on the attack, still weaponizing the kids, 13 and 9 years old. She is kind of spiraling right now. When I decided I didn't have to be available for her to yell at for hours on end, she lost her mind. She called my family, my work, made it hard for me to focus at work, threatened to call the cops, called my gym, just to make it difficult for me to go as I would have the kids and one isn't 13 yet. So my daughter can't even just hang out, much less work out. My wife has lost all sense of boundaries and is not really working regular hours. She's dealing with some legitimate health problems. As soon as I left, she decided to take her health seriously, and they just discovered some ovarian cysts. So now I have to be prepared to be the jerk who left his wife just before she got cancer, even if that is just the worst-case scenario. My kids understand. My daughter is ride-or-die team mom, which I love, but it's super confusing for her to observe her mother behave so blatantly malicious and without regard or remorse. My son is turning into an angry young man. He, like me, just wants peace and harmony. It's super hard and I'm working on getting them into therapy, which I've begun to take more seriously myself. There are days they get along, and days I see them displaying learned behavior that is either me at my drunken worst, or her at hers. I'm trying to teach them otherwise. My final takeaway is twofold and heartbreaking. 1. This is the first time in my life where I can definitively say that my own optimism has hurt me. My brother said something like, "You've got to quit thinking you know better than everyone else." I told him this isn't ego, this is optimism. His reply was, "Well, how's that working out for you?" Pretty bad. Pretty not good, very bad. Add 2. No matter what, a person does not get to allow themselves to be run by their emotions. No matter how bad you feel, you have control and autonomy over your actions, attitude, and behavior. You can choose how you act all the time. Even when you feel hurt or wounded or angry or hungry or horny or happy, you choose your behavior. Anyway, any advice appreciated. Children would rather be from a broken home than live in one. Setting boundaries is an important lesson, and you're doing the right thing for yourself and your children. Protecting your children from the same fate the two of you experienced should be your priority. The only thing you can do is teach your kids to the best of your ability and hope everything works out. I am contemplating breaking up because I am not my boyfriend's preference. Advice: I have been dating my boyfriend for 1 year and 1 month now, and I just can't seem to get over this insecurity which has seeped in over the course of our relationship. I really need some advice and some outside perspective to get out of my own head. I have talked with him about this, but it hasn't helped. Over the course of our relationship, he has said things and I have come to know things about his dating history which made me question whether or not I am his preference type. To sum it up, 1. Tracy. On our first date at the cinema, there was a little girl in the movie with very curly hair, and he jokingly said that our child will grow up to have similar hair. I don't have curly hair though. He has curly hair, but not to that extent as the little girl in the movie. 2. And say. Telling me on the second or third date that his ex was a very beautiful half-Dutch Antillian woman, Caribbean. 3. Told me he finds Alicia Keys more attractive than Kim Kardashian and Jolanthe Cabau, Dutch celebrity. The latter two both have dark hair, eyes and lighter skin with high contrast like me, as opposed to Alicia Keys, who has very curly hair and more tan skin. 4. Saying that I would have been more beautiful if I had been more tan. He told me he meant I looked better with a suntan. 5. Onion. He had the biggest crush in his life, was extremely in love with a half Algerian Somali girl when he was 17. 6. He dated another half Dutch Surinamese girl as fits the physical characteristics of the other women he's told me about. 7. He has made comments here and there where he would say that mixed people are beautiful. He also has tried to reassure me I am his type, and he has found a lot of different women attractive in the past. Based on the information above, what would you say is the truth? I feel immature for not being able to get over this, but I would hate to live with the fact that my partner actually prefers another type of physique over me. I feel like everyone deserves to feel like the most beautiful person to their partner. He does try to make me feel beautiful, but I can't help but notice a pattern here. Should I get over this, or is it best to cut it off? A preference is not the be-all and end-all of physical attraction. If you don't match his supposed usual preference, that means he finds you so attractive that his preference doesn't even matter. Insecurities are tough to deal with, so these thoughts may not leave overnight, but keep loving yourself and I'm positive you'll feel better soon. Communication is key, so bring it up with him and have a constructive conversation about how you're feeling and how he can help going forward. I think my parents have bugged my apartment. How do I handle this? Hi all, I recently went through some intense depression and had suicidal thoughts. I told this to a therapist, and I believe that the therapist contacted my parents. My sister said something odd to me a few weeks ago that made me believe that someone had to be listening in on me in my apartment. She had some information I hadn't told anyone. It was really strange and stood out to me. I changed my Wi-Fi password after that in hopes that whatever device I was bugged with would be disabled. Recently, I purchased a bug detector and it is going off like mad around my fire alarms. It does look like private companies sell bugs that look exactly like my fire alarms too. I've bought some replacement fire alarms and am going to fully investigate and dismantle these soon to see if they have cameras, mics in them. How best should I handle this, though? If I dismantle these things and find the recording equipment, my parents will know that I discovered that they've bugged my place. Additionally, since I've been depressed, I've said a ton of really unsavory things about my family, while I've been angry, venting to myself. I'm guessing they have heard some of this. It's a weird situation because on one hand I get the invasion of privacy since I was, still slightly severely depressed, but this just complicates things so much. And it honestly angers me a lot. My family and I have never been close, and this is so weird to me. I have no idea what to do here. I still have to confirm the bugs are there, I guess, but the detector really triggered well on them. I'll be checking in a few days once I have replacements to plug in. Thanks for reading so far. This whole situation is incredibly creepy and weird. It's possible someone might have bugged your place out of a misguided attempt to keep you safe, but that doesn't make it any less invasive or wrong. If you do find any recording devices, file a police report and go no contact with those responsible. Also, consulting an attorney could be a good idea to understand if there's a bigger issue at play here. I and him have been in a situationship for 2 years. What do I do now? He is my first love. We went on dates, but I had to go back to my city, so we texted for 5 months and slowly drifted a little, but kept in touch. Until he told me he liked someone and that he was sorry. Around 6 months later, I texted him and found out they broke up. It has been a year since, and we have met a few more times. Since then, it has become a daily routine to FaceTime until midnight. He came around 3 weeks ago too to visit, and we went camping with his family and niece. Here is the thing, we were doing everything a couple would but without anything verbal, like no compliments, etc. Anytime his parents questioned our relationship, he would say we are friends. But today, when we were FaceTiming, his niece said we are flirting, etc., so he brought her in to clear it up. She is 12, so she asked anything on her mind, and we answered. Have we gone on dates? Yes. Have we kissed? Yes. But one question was, do you like each other? And he said, we did at one point, and she replied, what about now? And he talked about how he doesn't know what love is, and he doesn't think he is capable of those feelings. She asked again and said, then, what's your relationship with her? I simply said we are not dating, so he followed saying, we aren't dating, and we're not at the stage before dating either, but she's one of my closest people. We call each other friends, but when we meet we act like a couple. I want to ask what our relationship is, but I know it will either break or make us. I am not ready for that. I am probably not his type either, but he once told me he was shocked at how pretty I was, so I deluded myself a little. He sees a future where I'm in it, but I don't know my position. I'm trying to stop my feelings so I can stay with him for as long as possible. We are both too busy focused on work anyways. I know he wouldn't mess around either. But how will this end? How did your situationship end? I don't want to feel heartbroken when we are both in a place where we are ready for a relationship. What do I do now? What should I do? He says you're friends and that he used to like you at one point, but he's incapable of love and won't be going on dates with you. He's being perfectly clear. He doesn't see you as his girlfriend. You deserve better than to wait around for someone who doesn't want to commit. Stop being strung along and don't accept his excuses about not knowing what love is. Those are just excuses. My partner keeps mentioning red flags like he would get full custody of kids. How can I communicate effectively about this? We have been together for almost 2 years now. This time, I really felt we were onto something, communicating well and helping one another. But lately, he's been saying things that hurt and worry me. It would be my house, and I'd be dead if I can't help a friend out. This was said when I had mentioned that I wouldn't like for anyone outside of family to stay over for more than a couple of weeks. It felt like I had lost my privacy and freedom inside my house. What hurt me wasn't even that he didn't agree, but that any house that we lived in as a couple would be his, and things would be done regardless of what I wanted felt comfortable. I'd let my wife decide over our children, even if you didn't agree. So we had watched a video of a stepmother saying things like, obviously, I don't love my stepchild the same, and I can decide rules and punishments regardless if the bio mom agrees or doesn't. I expressed how that really irritated me. He said that he sees nothing wrong with what that stepmom said and said that he agrees, especially because the bio mom was probably trash since it looked like the father had custody. I asked if his mom was trash since his father also got full custody. He said I was twisting his words and that he was older than the child in question and asked to be with his dad. The child in the video was 7, he was 8. Anyway, I'd get full custody if we have children. This followed the previous discussion. He said none of my arguments, that both parents should decide on major things regarding the child, even if separated, and that I'd never let a partner rule over him regarding our future children. I admit I laughed at this and said he wouldn't. Then, for the sake of not being an asshole, I said we would share custody. He said we wouldn't, it would be his. I know we don't have children, and some might think these kinds of conversations are stupid. But being a child of divorce myself, I think those are things couples should talk about. I really tried to reach a middle ground, but he shut me off. These things are adding to the fact that he always says I got my job because I'm a woman, and was surprised that I was able to receive another job offer from a foreign company that would pay double his salary, followed by refusing to help me prepare for the interview. I did it anyway. It wasn't his obligation, but I got sad since he first said he would, then didn't. I didn't sad since he first said he would, then didn't. I didn't complain or say anything. Sometimes I feel like I'm trying to be a team, but for him, we are battling each other and there's only one winner. I'm afraid these are major red flags, and I can't find a way to communicate them in a healthy manner. I'm afraid to sound too bitchy. How could I address these topics without sounding like I'm attacking him? He's doing his best to undermine your confidence, and he's not interested in helping you do well. This man is negging you in order to destroy your confidence so you'll feel too worthless to leave. He wants to be in charge of everything and makes it clear that any home you share would be his. Believe that he will do what he says he will do. These are major red flags. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.